All right, let's get right into it because something absolutely historic just went down in the precious metals market. In a move that, frankly, has stunned a lot of people, silver has just exploded. We're talking smashing records, entering territory it has literally never seen before. Just get a load of that number. In one single day, silver rocketed up over 4.47%. I mean, to put that into perspective, it completely blew every other precious metal out of the water, in some cases by more than double. This wasn't a tiny step up, this was a giant, massive leap. And this is where that leap took us, $60.80 an ounce. You heard that right. For the very first time in history, silver has shattered the $60 barrier. This is a huge milestone, and it's really the climax of a rally that's been building up for months now. So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the historic surge itself. Then we'll unpack the forces that are actually driving this insane price action. We'll see how it's just crushing the rest of the market. And we're going to finish with a really important warning for any investors out there. Okay, first up, let's dig into this surge. Because this didn't just happen overnight. This was not some random one-day event. No, this is the peak of a record-breaking rally that's been picking up steam for the last 2 months. And you can see how the dominoes started to fall. It all kicked off back in October with that huge supply squeeze over in London. Then, fast forward to November, the US government steps in and designates silver a critical mineral, which is a huge deal. That was followed by a pretty chaotic trading halt on the COMEX exchange that basically sucked all the liquidity out of the market, and all of that has led us right here to today's unprecedented $60 peak. So, that's the what happened, the timeline. But the real question is, why? What are the forces creating this, well, this perfect storm for silver? Turns out it's not just one thing. It's a powerful mix of factors all hitting at the exact same time. And this is the recipe for an explosion. You've got a global supply crunch. At the same time, pretty much everyone is expecting the Fed to cut interest rates. The US dollar is getting weaker, which makes silver cheaper for foreign buyers. Then you layer on that new critical mineral status in the US, which points to serious demand for things like solar panels and EVs. And top it all off with very low market liquidity. That just means any big buy order has a massive impact on the price. And let's talk about that supply crunch for a second. It's pretty much what it sounds like. There's just not enough silver to go around to meet demand. And one of the clearest signs of this is happening over in China, where their silver inventories are at the lowest levels they'd been in more than a decade. On top of all that, you have this. Traders are basically betting the farm. We're talking an 87% chance that the US Federal Reserve is about to lower interest rates. And when rates go down, holding assets that don't pay interest, like gold and especially silver, becomes way, way more attractive. And that just drives demand through the roof. So we know why silver is on a tear, but how impressive is this performance really? Let's put it into context and see how it stacks up against the other precious metals. And wow, the numbers are just staggering. Look, gold has had a fantastic year, surging 60%. But silver? Silver has absolutely left it in the dust, almost doubling that with a 109% gain so far this year. It's just playing a completely different game. And today's performance really hammers the point home. Yeah, all the precious metals had a good day, but silver was the undisputed champion. Its gain was almost double platinum and palladium and a full 3 times larger than gold's. Just incredible. Now, for investors, this next number is a really big deal. It's the gold to silver ratio, basically how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. For a long time, it was over 70. Now it's dropped to 69.35. A narrowing ratio like this is often a huge signal that silver is gaining serious strength relative to gold. Hey, just a quick pause here. If you're finding this breakdown helpful and you like what we do, please hit that like button, share this with someone, and subscribe so you don't miss any more exciting updates from us. It really helps a lot. Okay, but with a price run-up this massive, we have to pivot to the big question. What does this mean if you're an investor? Well, believe it or not, the experts are starting to sound a pretty serious note of caution. And you can't really get a clearer warning than this one. In a recent note to clients, Goldman Sachs specifically said that investors should expect silver to see more volatility and, this is the key part, significant downside price risk. In other words, what goes up this fast can often come down even faster. So for anyone watching this market, the main takeaway is to be careful. You have to acknowledge the higher risk you're taking on. Be prepared for what analysts call a consolidation, That's a fancy term for a price pullback, and just really understand that these incredible gains could reverse, and reverse very quickly. And this really gets to the heart of what silver is as an investment. You'll hear analysts call it a higher beta asset than gold. All that really means, in simple terms, is that its price swings are way more dramatic, both on the way up, which is what we're seeing now, and potentially on the way down. And all of this leaves us with the $1,000,000, or maybe the $60 question. On one hand, we're seeing record highs and unbelievable momentum. On the other, we're hearing clear warnings about volatility from Wall Street. So is silver's new era a golden opportunity for investors, or is it a silver trap just waiting to spring? That is the critical question that everyone in this market is trying to figure out right now.